What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be playing around with a title called Surroundead. This is one of those ones that we've covered before, but damn it, I'm going to cover it again because it's a great game. This is one of those titles that really there was no distinction to this game when it first came out. It blended in amidst the never-ending horde of zombie apocalypse asset flop sort of survival RPGs that you've all seen a million billion times before. But this one has actually managed to turn into something special over the years. And it's one of those games that has a patch cycle that's so fast and so rapid that if you stop playing this game for a couple of weeks, chances are they've dropped a content patch and there's more stuff inside of it. So today we're going to take a look at this game. We're going to see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or if it's a game that's just not for you. If after watching this you did indeed want to get the game, I do have a link for you down below in the description. On top of that, you can find a link to my Twitch stream and my Discord just in case you wanted to hang out live or talk to me in person. I do have like a 5-hour, 4-hour VOD of this game that I played over the weekend that I was having a really good time with. But for now, Surroundead. What is it? Surroundead is effectively the answer to the question, how could you possibly make something like DayZ into a single-player game? So you want that core gameplay loop that you get out of a title like DayZ, but you don't really want to deal with being online, you don't want to deal with lag, you don't want to deal with netcode, you don't want to deal with other players. How do we take that and turn it into a compelling gameplay experience? And that question is actually a little bit more difficult than you would expect it to be to answer, largely in part due to the fact that games like Scum and games like DayZ, they rely very heavily upon the almost human procedural element, or I guess the asymmetry of human interaction in order to sell their gameplay. A lot of those sandboxes are not particularly good games when you boil it down to the core constituent parts of what makes a good game. However, they are elevated in a lot of ways, just by the fact that the player can meet up with other players and you never quite know what's going to happen. And that human element lends a lot of tension and a lot of paranoia and a lot of struggle to the game that makes things much more interesting. Well, this game answers that question by just giving you loads and loads and loads of stuff that you can do inside the sandbox in order to occupy yourself. That's pretty much the entire thing. If we take a look at the game world right here, if I can get words out of my mouth, they have begun the run-up to the game being completed, and the full thing that I've said that the game needs from the beginning, which is kind of a full map overhaul, they just dropped the first in like a 3-part patch cycle that is completely overhauling the map, adding new points of interest, adding new mid-game and end-game content so that there's things to grind for, there's things to scavenge for, there's things to keep you on your toes, there's secret locations you can get into that will have the end-all be-all of the best loot ever, and if you can't get into those places, then you just can't get that loot, and therefore it behooves you to go out and find the tools and the gear necessary in order to get inside of those locations. Right now, I'm on one of those submissions as we speak. I've got, you see this big giant rifle on my back right here? I've got this Remington 700 that I have tacticooled the hell out of, but unfortunately I have no bullets for it. I had like 80 rounds for it, but due to a series of misadventures and problems, I no longer have that ammo. And so I needed to come into town, and I needed to get into a gun store to see if I could find some 308 to guarantee that I'll be able to hit enemies from a distance. Because as you might expect, being able to hit people from a distance in a zombie game, kind of a huge come up. I cannot find the sweet spot on this lock, let me tell you. There it is, finally got it. Let's get this gun store open. I don't really want to run my M4 right now. It's a little bit loud. There may be a boss around. As with RuneScape and whatnot, bossing is definitely a thing in this game. Some of the cities have very, very tough, nasty tank-like bosses that are cruising around. They're faster than you, they're stronger than you, they're meaner than you. And you just got to kind of deal with it. We got a P90 magazine right there. I'll take that. A Mosin clip. I'll take that too, although I'll probably just use those as vendor fodder. There are a wide arrangement of vendors all over the map. There are different gear qualities in this title. Ooh, we've got a Saiga, huh? That's kind of sick. I am a big fan of Saigas. It's not a very high quality Saiga, but it is a Saiga. I'll take the AK right there as well, the AK-47. That way I can sell it at like a vendor. However, none of this stuff was the stuff that I was looking for. I need ammunition like right this second. I'm going to drink that water straight off the front end. We've got a laptop. The flashlight's worth 75 bucks to a vendor, so I'll take that. Come on, firearms locker. I just need ammo. That's the whole reason I came here. What you got for me? We got civilian body armor. We've got a patrol backpack. We've got a Scar H magazine. We've got some 7.62 bullets. Not precisely what I was looking for, but it's something. I've got a couple magazines right now of 5.56 M4 ammunition. I've got a couple magazines at the moment of 9mm. I've got like an endless quantity. Like seriously, I have a ridiculous quantity of 45 caliber, but unfortunately I've only found like one vector and it was really low quality, so I wasn't really trying to use that vector for anything special. You can do backpack stacking in this game if you want to, just like Escape from Tarkov. It is reasonably apparent to me that the developer of this game is also a big Tarkov fan, because a lot of the little quirks and things that exist in Tarkov also exist here, where you can like infinitely stack backpacks and they'll infinitely give you more space. I like that kind of inventory Tetris stuff, but some people may find it to be a little bit corny, but I like it very, very much, and so it hasn't bothered me really one bit. No ammo so far, huh? This has just been a real dud of a run, hasn't it? We got an AKM inside of there. I'm not intrinsically super stoked about the AKM or like the hunting rifle that's over on this side. Can I get out of this door? I gotta lockpick it. I don't have a crowbar on me. I don't know if from outside we can see if there's anything on the balcony maybe. Nah, it just looks like it's a back door that takes you in exactly where you're going to go anyways. There are some military camps over here, but they're full of red undead. The red undead are the really, really risky ones that have a ton of HP, they give a ton of XP, but you really got to beat on them for a little while before they go down. And those guys really had any loot on them that I was excited about. We've got a medical crate over here. Loot in this game does respawn, so locations that you have previously looted. I think I've been inside this city before. It may be possible... Oh, dude, he was an exploder. That's not great. Get some bandages on me. We're about to get rushed by the entire town. When they explode, it makes a whole bunch of noise. I think if we can pull back far enough, we'll probably be all right, but a lot of my radiation resistance just went down right there, too. Throughout the course of the game, you are going to be doing the things that you're expected to do inside of a zombie game. That is to play over-glorified meter mage. Or, like, meter mage? That sounds way better than meter maid. Oh, there is a boss. Okay, we got to get up here. And don't let this guy get anywhere near us. Okay. We are on top of the car. I don't really want to bust mad rounds into this guy's face, though. Just because of the noise it's going to make. Like, I think we have the ammo supply remaining to take this guy out. If you ever aggro a boss... just get on top of something, man. It's the only way you're getting out of this in one piece. Do I have any ammo left for this? There we go. We dinked the big dog. He's down. Get you real fast, too. I'm not going to loot him just yet. Yeah, I was wondering if the bosses respawn, and I just learned that the hard way. And we got a crawler over here. Are any more zombies aggroed on me right now? I think we're okay. This boss is going to have sick loot on him, though. But the only way that I've found to effectively kill bosses is to get on top of cars where they can't hit you. I suppose that's a valid option if you go back to zombie media. We got a coyote backpack. It's a 7x9 compared to the 6x7 that I currently have. Throw everything I'm carrying inside of there, and we'll just throw that on. Oh, nice, dude. We got a legendary Glock. Hell yeah. I've got a bunch of accessories for that thing, so that's actually a pretty good find. We got 50 caliber BMG right there. We got a helmet. We got a sniper suppressor. We got a med kit. I'll take the med kit. There's a Deagle magazine right there, a Guardian magazine for a named rifle. Back at my base, I have a whole bunch of gun parts for this, and so it's going to be better than what we have right here, this CZ75. Yeah, it does almost double the damage of this CZ75, and that's going to be the big appeal of this game, is that constant never-ending search for better loot and better gear that's kind of like an upgrade to what you're already carrying around with you. I think we probably want to make this guy our main backpack. But without rearranging a whole bunch of stuff, I don't know how we're going to do it. So that's a 6x8. That's a 7x9. Conceivably, we could just dump this backpack over here, too. Let me open somebody's loot real fast. And the easiest way to do this is going to be like so. Then I can take the coyote backpack and I can put it on. This guy right here is full of all ill-begotten gains from butchering our way across town. I'm going to eat the cereal. I'm going to drink the water real quick just to get my meters filled up. And if I have room, we can take the patrol backpack. We can put that right there. The patrol backpack's so little, though, based on the space that you get. Okay, let's ferry this stuff back to the car because I'm going to have to sort it out a little bit off camera. I don't think there's any other real way around that. But the game does come with an enormous assortment of just things to equip and things to have. There's everything from useless clothing here that provides your character with no benefits, to full-on tactical gear, to police outfits, to SWAT outfits, to fire department and medical outfits. You just kind of name it. And that's not even the tallest part of it. There's also containers so that you can put things inside those, and some of these containers are deployable. There's full-on base building. So, for example, I have a base that I've built on the map already that I've just been, like, fiddling with in my free time in order to keep my vehicles up and running and to give myself a stash where I've got loads and loads of backup equipment listed on out there. From base building, then you can spend your time. There's procedurally generated missions now where you can pay $2,500 to an intel specialist. And the intel specialist will mark a spot on the map where it spontaneously will spawn an event of some kind. It may be a military incursion by Coyote, who are kind of like the bad guys in this game. They're like this paramilitary group that's trying to take over the wasteland and like pacify it. I mean, you can get random convoys and caravans and stuff like that that are on the map. It's really up to you. Like, you've got to be sort of self-guided with this game. Do I have any 9mm anywhere? I have one 9mm bullet. That's not great. I mean, I guess that's the right amount if I've got to take care of myself after this all falls apart. I've got a little bit of 5.56, so I've got about a standard loadout of 5.56, like 150 rounds. It's not perfect, but I think it'll have to do if I get myself into trouble. Reload real quick, put the drum mag back on there. And then I got to go back to the truck, and we'll get that last magazine filled out. But I think our inventory management woes are now behind us. There we go. So I've got roughly 150 shots on the M4, and this is a very high-quality M4. Not only are there low-quality versions of weapons, there's high-quality versions of weapons. So there's not going to be like one 9mm pistol in this game. There's going to be like 7 or 8 9mm pistols that all function in different ways and do like different things and have different levels of efficacy that you're going to want to take a look at. Something like that Glock that we just found, that little bad boy is great for us. That's exactly the kind of thing that we want, because that's going to be one of those best in slot items that we're going to keep with us and we're going to gear out for probably the remainder of our playthrough. Oh, God! Undead boss is back. Oh, God. Get on top of the truck. Get on top of the truck. Oh, he got on top of that truck, too! No! Can he get on top of this car? Don't you get on top of this car. I'm bleeding like crazy right now. I'm going to use that right there. We're going to medkit on up. I mean, I guess I could double dip on loot. The problem is I have no weapons that are silenced to deal with this guy. There was 2 bosses, huh? Yikes, that is horrifying. This is going to rapidly become a problem once I discharge this weapon. Best bet is just to get him first and then just see how bad it gets out here. This is obviously an ammo expenditure that I did not want to do. But it gave us extra boss loot, which is nice. I think we should be alright over here. I think we can get down off the car. I don't know if that guy right there in, like, the prison scrubs just has bad hearing. I don't know. These couple little undeads out in the park right here didn't really seem too interested in tangoing with us. What's up with the well over here? They have a town well? Oh, I can fill up my bottles from the well. I should probably do that. I've been looking for water lately. Alright, yep, fill up my bottles. There we go. All my bottles are filled up, so we should be good. Another Coyote backpack. A 5.56 suppressor. I could definitely use that. Pistol suppressor. A Barrett 50 cal magazine. That would be the gnarly stuff. Another 5.56 drum mag, too. A laboratory key card. The worst part is, dude, I think I know where the laboratory is. Like, I think I know where it is. And had I more ammunition, I would say let's take a crack at it here on video today and just kind of like see how gnarly this goes, like see how badly it falls apart. Let's take the helmets because they carry good value, I guess. Yeah, we've got a little bit of inventory space. So I want to unload these now. And I want to put those in there so that I don't have to carry these stain eggs around with me anymore. We'll move these guys over to here just to keep our water supply all good and filled on out. And if nothing else, we've got ourselves suppressed now when it comes to our overall... Was that all the ammo off of him? Where was all that 5.5? Oh, yeah, I pulled it out of my own magazines. Okay, well, we might as well go back in. I mean, we've got this never-ending deluge of bosses out of the way, and so I feel like we just take a look around the FEMA camp for a second and see if we dig out anything useful. I think I looted this place a couple days ago, so I don't know if it's going to come out with anything that's like the absolute boppers for us that's going to be like life-changing loot, but we can at least have a look around. Got some antiseptic right there. I can use that to manufacture my own meds. The game does come strapped with a full-on crafting system, and in fact, a very large crafting system. There are multiple different benches that allow you to craft things and stuff, everything from furniture to make your base more comfortable, to gun parts, to the ability to mess with your armor and craft new armor sets. There's a lot of stuff inside this game to come to handle with, and honestly, I haven't even gotten that far into the base building yet. Can there be anything inside of this place that's going to be useful? I'm guessing this is where the boss came from that was giving us such a headache, and so you've got a couch right there, just in case you're excited about the couch life. If you see shades, pick up shades. Weirdly enough, sunglasses, they carry... I thought I heard a footstep, but you got no foots with which to make a step. Get on out of here. A GPS, yep, that's a single slot item that sells for a lot of money. That knife right there is pretty baller too. We should be able to sell that. Don't need the black gloves. I'll take the 45 bucks though, because you can never be too rich to take 45 bucks. I already cleared this place out, so we may as well have a look-see at it and just kind of like see what we get out of here. Upstairs, it's possible. Another toolbox, huh? Do I need another toolbox? I feel like I'm good on toolboxes right now. I feel like my toolbox situation is rock solid. I've got lots of tool storage. Yeah, I was going to say, there's got to be gun safes or something in here. Let's break into these gun lockers, because I think this is like a dilapidated police station. And this may get me to where I want to go with finding more ammo, which was really the point of this entire thing. We've got a 7.62 compensator. We've got a military-grade safe container right there. I'm going to throw out that safe container. I'm going to stack that in right there so that I have two of them inside my safe container slot. We've got a Benelli. We've got a Mosin clip. We've got another Staynag. Civilian night vision is probably the rock star here. I did get a weapons case, which will allow me to carry around more things that I can eventually sell at a vendor, and so I guess I can just throw this stuff on in here. Let's check the other cabinet right here and just kind of see what we got going for us. I got that labs card, and I think I know where it goes to. There's an underground bunker laboratory that's like one of the new events next to my base, kind of nearby here. Oh, an ACR. That's pretty cool. Never seen that before. That's like a new item that I've never laid eyes upon. We've also got a 50-round Glock mag right there, and since we just found that legendary Glock, I don't know if it'll actually go in that legendary Glock, but we'll give it a try. That's a 5.56. It does 27 damage, so it's a little bit worse than what we got going on here. But if we can find the upgraded version of it, it might be better than what we have. Oh, no, never mind. It's just worse than this epic AR-15 that we've got over here. I'll probably just sell it then. It's worth 250 bucks, and there's never... I always need money. There's always something to spend money on inside this title. Well, this place came up a giant goose egg. I decided to do the rest of the looting off camera, so I think we're going to need to go somewhere where it's more guaranteed that we're going to get something extra strength spicy. So I think it's time for us to go to an infested location. There are infestations. This game does incorporate some mechanics from things like State of Decay. There are plague hearts. I don't know if they spread, but that would be a good addition to give the player something to sort of work on as they're working their way through the game. In State of Decay, that's one of like the core mechanics, is that you've got to stop the plague hearts from spreading. But this game does have plague hearts. I haven't wiped out any in this playthrough just yet. But those places that have plague hearts, they're almost universally like a gun mall or like a gun emporium or something like that. And so we may have to go to one of those places in order to get ourselves strapped up. Melee combat continues to be a little bit of a weakness in this game. However, it does feel a little bit better than the last time I played the game. I do think that they've tuned it up somehow, although I can't quite put my thumb on exactly how they tuned up melee combat. But I have been finding the melee combat to not be quite as grating as the last time I played. Gas mask filter. Always need more of those. You do have to have filters for your gas mask in this game, just like you're playing, just like you're playing something like Metro. Probably like right there, a little further. There we go. Let me in. What do we got here? Oh, we got an L85. Isn't the L85 like a piece of junk? I think it might be. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding profusely. Can I get rid of that bleed somehow? Yeah, I guess I'll just use my big med kit. I didn't really want to. I may have to sit down and manufacture some goodies here. We've got a satchel pack. We've got an ACR magazine to go with that ACR that we just found. I don't think I have the room to slam that on into the gun case. So I'll probably just throw it in the backpack over here. Honestly, I need to take a trip back to the truck and just drop off what we have inside the truck. That way we can move forward without too many problems. Like, we've almost got nighttime on top of us anyways. I do have full-on NVGs. I'm not going to... Well, there you go. It's daytime right now, so obviously NVGs aren't going to work super well. But I do have, I think, the best NVGs in the game. I don't know if there's any epic NVGs in the game, but I do have very, very high-grade special ops quality ones that I ended up finding... I think by jacking a military convoy on one of those random quests that you can get generated for you by the survivor enclaves. But let's see if we can find a new objective to work on by the time the sun comes up, shall we? I still need ammo. Like, the truth of the matter is, I still need bullets. So let's go track down some bullets. So I think our first stop on the map here is just that I need to drop off all this loot we just got with the survivor enclave up here. I'll also show you some important functions inside of there because I think some people may never find a survivor enclave and realize the little interactions that exist there, but it's a place for you to drop off loot, make money, and exchange currencies for other types of currencies, just in case you're trying to buy those ultra rare weapons that are only on the wandering traders that walk around the map that are actually kind of difficult to find sometimes. So inside a survivor enclave, there's going to be a couple of different types of people around here, but the main ones you want to be aware of is that there's a supplies trader. The supplies trader has a random inventory. You never know what he's going to have on him, but you should go through it every now and again because I don't always find something good on this trader right here, but very occasionally they'll be able to round out my supplies a little bit with something that I don't have, like gas mask filters or like 9mm ammo right there. We at least have one magazine of 9mm now. This is also the place where you are going to be dropping off all of the loot that you find while you're out in the world just participating in activities. And pay attention to the values of some of the loot because a lot of the things you find around might only take one slot, but they'll sell for like a ton of cash. And so things like aviators and whatnot, I always keep an eye on. All sales taken into account, we made like $7,500 selling all the stuff that we pulled off of those bosses right there. That's good because every $1,000 converts into one of these credits on a different vendor that's over here. You can pay this guy, and he'll swap it out for credits. Credits are used kind of like raid currency from World of Warcraft. They're like super rare. You don't get them very often unless you're in super high-value locations, but they buy the best gear in the game. There's also the settlement officer over here. The settlement officer will give you procedurally generated quests for $2,500, and you may not make $2,500 off the quest itself, but you will almost always get like ridiculous banger loot that kind of like upgrades your character. For now, let me take us back to our base real quick before we go on this final adventure into whatever terrifying place we're going to try to get interacting with. I got to find ammo. Like, there are challenges that I can take on right now, but I got no bullets. Oh, we also got an airdrop coming in. Wonder where it's going to drop. Come on, not behind the hills. Not behind the hills. I don't know where that one's going, but it'll drop a giant crate that's got all kinds of goodies in it. Did he already drop? Oh, that dude's headed off to, like, Narnia. I don't think we're going to be able to get that one. Yeah, he dropped way, way, way off this way. Like, I would guess maybe in the city over there somewhere. There are map-wide events that can happen. You can get buzzed, for example, by jet fighters. There's, like, a giant siren with, like, hordes that come out, like Left 4 Dead style last time I played the game. Like, one of those terrifying, like, meh, meh, meh moments. Let's survive the night. Yeah, let's sleep till morning, I guess. I don't know what that's going to do to my meters, but we should be good. Get a little bit of sunlight rattling along. This is my base. I've cobbled it together at the moment from stuff that I've found around. The ultimate goal, at least that I am working towards, is that I'm trying to get this whole area fenced off so that it's actually like an enclosed compound, and then I can build up some other stuff inside of here. If you're wondering how placement works, it works like this. It's not like a snapping system. It doesn't always work super great, but you can get it like close enough. So there's 2 sections of chain link fence that I've got right there with a door going in the front that I'll be able to defend if I can get enough chain link fence to run it all the way around. You've also got a wide assortment of crafting boxes you can play around with. Everything here has storage inside of it. I've got a crate over here that's got all the stuff for our sick Glocks. So there's our like 18 round Glocks right there. We've got a suppressor for that Glock. I've got a Leshy scope. I've been picking up random legendary stuff from all over the place and just holding on to it because you never know what you're going to find when you do like a deep dive into the map in this game. Where was that pistol at? There's that pistol. All right, so because I have all the stuff for this pistol, let's take the... Actually, I don't really care about taking the mag out. I don't think it matters. Let's put that guy right there. We'll finally get rid of these mags right here. We'll unload some of the 9mm, paltry amount of 9mm I have. I guess we'll take it out. I don't really have that much 9mm at the moment, but it'll have to hold us. And then I've got the suppressor for that Glock. I've got 2 magazines for that Glock, but this guy hits almost as hard. Look at that, dude. The damage on this legendary with 9mm rounds is commensurate to an AR-15 round. So this is definitely a big upgrade because this gun's going to be a lot more quiet. It's going to be a lot less risky to use. And also, it's gold-plated and cool-looking. It's all like bubbed out. Who doesn't love a bubbed out Glock? As far as crafting goes, I haven't gotten all the benches and stuff done yet. I need more things to get some of this done. I need to get the weapon bench done is what I really need to do. And it looks like in order to get the weapon bench done, I probably only need like 1 more log. I think I can do that no problem. Let's take the axe out of there. You can chop trees in this game. The tree chopping is not altogether that cool looking or interesting, but you can do it. Like a little wood will pop out. And the weapons bench, I think, is where I'm going to be able to manufacture ammunition, which is like the scariest part of all this. So there's our weapons bench. Let's see if we can like place it maybe. We'll put like another aisle right here of benches. And so there's our weapons bench. We are now capable of manufacturing bullets. If I had 10 scrap metal, I can make 5 bullets. So you need a lot of scrap metal to get that done. How many shell casings do I have right now? I have 13 shell casings. It's not a lot of shell casings, if I'm going to be square with you. But I guess 10 more 5.56 is better than no more 5.56, so I'll take it. Ooh, a pipe bomb. Noisemakers. Can I make 308 in here? I can make 308, but I'm going to need a lot more bullet casings. I think if you use a sledgehammer on cars, you can get scrap metal. I've been mostly, like, scrimping around for my scrap metal, but maybe our luck will turn around. But I figure we're getting towards the end of the video now, so I'll give you my final closing thoughts about Surroundead in its current state in 2024 while we try to hit another objective. So while playing this game, I had no performance issues. There was no hiccups related to tech. I had no crashes whatsoever. Everything seemed to work fine on a bare-bones technological level. All seems to be fair on that front, but this is a work in progress on the content front. And so the map is currently being overhauled. The first patch of that overhaul just went live last week, and I've liked the unique locations that I've seen so far. And despite the game being made entirely from assets, these bespoke areas aren't too bad. Like, if you were fine with the layout and the repeat buildings and the copy pasta that you'll see in like DayZ or DayZ Mod, then you'll probably still be good here because they're are enough unique things to break apart the monotony at this point. The game will surprise you with some of the more creative locations and things to find, and there are a lot of them. I've probably seen about 35% of the map so far, and I'm still finding little tiny things squirreled away in empty fields that look like there's nothing there, that require endgame keycards to get into and whatnot. So there's a lot of exploration to be done. It's a self-motivating game at its core, but there was a main quest in my journal when I started out, and I haven't chased that down yet, so I can't speak to how good that is, or if it's worth doing, or if it's just like a tutorial or what. There's loads of guns, gear, clothes, general things to loot, and I think their core gameplay loop of go to location, loot location, upgrade your kit, do scarier location with even better upgrades is a solid one, especially once you start having sub-objectives like we did today, looking for ammo nonstop so that I can start tackling even nastier places. On the polish front, I think the game is a little bit more loosey-goosey, so guns don't feel exactly right, but they feel better than last time I played. There was a delay you could feel last time I played, and they feel better now. But this is exacerbated by how every bullet in this game is kind of like a laser tracer. It's just like zip, zip, zip. It looks like Star Wars. Those little trails right there, they give away like shot locations a lot of the time, and they make the gunfights feel cheaper. But they are blinding when you have NVGs on, so at the bare minimum, they need to be tuned down a lot with NVGs on. I've been trying to keep gunfights almost entirely to the daytime for exactly that reason. So there's work to do there to make the gunplay feel tight. There were little things I noticed, like when enemies get too close, your arm like goes through them, and you can't like shoot them once they close the gap, stuff like that. The AI is another sticking point for me. The AI of both zombies and humans on the game's map have gotten better since the last time I went into the game, but they still occasionally freak out, get lost, lose their pathfinding, can't access the player. They just stand there and get mauled by zombies. Much, much, much more rarely than last time, but it's still a little bit of room for improvement. Bosses seem to mostly be the same everywhere that I've gone. I'd like to see that diversified into interesting special zombies that match up with the themes of the locations that they are at and the strategies of the locations that they're at to spruce things up, but there may be bosses I haven't seen because I've done probably like 4 of them at this point. After that, the loot tables can be a little bit immersion breaking, looting a table and chairs from a trash bag, or finding like an entire industrial generator inside of a dumpster can be a little bit odd. But there is a lot of that loot, and most of it is exciting when you're kitting up. There's no emergent, like, in-world loot sitting around on tables or on shelves or anything else like that. I would like that to be a thing. As of right now, all of the looting in the game is done from containers, which makes the world feel kind of like sterile and gamey, I guess. I realize I've kind of gone down a laundry list here, but that's actually because these are now some of the sole outstanding issues for me personally in a game that's rapidly becoming something that I truly enjoy. Like, I like this title a lot, and I'm glad to have been surprised by it over the last year or two. If they can get those checked off the list, they're going to be in great shape. Like, there's a lot of stuff to explore here. It has clear progression, and once you figure out that curve and it clicks, you'll be off to the races just doing non-stop sandboxy activities. There's not a ton of character development just yet. There's like a limited character tree, and there are stats that level up as you do things through usage, Skyrim style. There's not really any storylines out there to find in the apocalypse that I've seen so far, but there is a lot of like repeatable stuff that you can do via procedurally spawned quests and gambling and airdrops and map events and things like that. Just pure old-fashioned gearing, exploration, and combat feels great, though. I could easily see this wiping out 25 or 30 hours for me in the future, depending on how wild I decide to get with base building. They do need to implement some kind of, like, snapping to the base building, too. Right now, it's all freehand, and it can be, like, really difficult to get things lined up the way that you want them to, and it just makes it take, like, a real long time to do, because everything from flooring to everything else, I think, doesn't snap. You just kind of, like, place it. But other than that, the developer's done a great job here, keeping a very tight, very rapid patch schedule, listening to audience feedback, implementing features from other games that people suggest. He's followed through on all of that stuff, so his track record is showing right now that it's going to keep getting better in the future. As I said last time we covered this game, you got to check on this one like every 2 months or so, because there'll just be a giant docket of stuff that you haven't seen yet, and I've been very impressed by the increase in quality between this and the last video that I recorded, so I figured I'd make another one. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today it was Surroundead. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Thanks for hanging out, and that's about all I got for you.